All right, so my name is Rekha Patel. I'm a founder of a company called Xrathus, which focuses on accelerating innovation. So I'm going to be quite a bit of a contrast to everything we've heard all day today, which has been very inspiring and exciting for me. This is my first time presenting at this event. And I have been thinking about bringing an innovation community together from the workplace side, but always keeping in mind that the educators have to come in there because we have to blend the future. So today I'm going to be talking about what I had envisioned about 2 years ago and what I have delivered in the way of product today and how some people are using it. So let me share my screen here. Go right here. And so you should be seeing, let me go full screen. Is this good?
Yes, it is.
Okay, sorry. All right, let me go full screen then again. So the Xrathus ecosystem that I developed, it was all for bringing in innovators in the workplace and how do they need to break down silos and how do they need to work together to accelerate, in their case, products that they need to deliver, and also bring in multidisciplinary people to work. And if I think of all the different student presentations we've seen today, then they're thinking that multidisciplinary thoughts, right? So I'll talk about Xrathus first, just very quickly to say, what are we? We're a digital collaboration ecosystems that fosters multidisciplinary interactions, accelerates ideas, streamlines shared learning, speeds up decision-making for continuous improvement, and at the end of it all, to deliver superior innovations faster, right? So how do we do this and what do we do in here? I actually put this together after I saw some of the presentations this morning. What does an ecosystem need and require, right? So we had somebody talking about having done hackathons in the Xrathus ecosystem. You can actually do projects privately or openly. So I'm kind of showing all the bits and pieces of things that are required in innovation. And then how do you come in and do project work? In my case, I think about the machine learning AI. So I have a pre-configured data science environment, contextual learning, because we all need to, in the workplace, we need to retrain ourselves. We also need to provide mentors, and it's inspiring to see that the kids also think about, how do I become a good mentor? I loved hearing that today. And then, how do you just bring the community together and eventually sell, right? Because all innovations are going to be sold. So the first thing that we think about at Xrathus is, how do you collaborate? And the pandemic actually accelerated a lot of the collaboration. Here, I'm just demonstrating all the different asynchronous, synchronous, and what I call bichronous now capabilities that are required for all of us to come together and work. And so as we do that, in our case, we decided we needed to build a platform, an ecosystem that had 4 different distinct pieces. And I'm going to go to the next first slide here to talk about these pieces, right? The first one was, how do we connect everybody together to have asynchronous discussions, synchronous discussions? What do we do there? In my case, I've been thinking about how do we give them an infrastructure, a place where they can create their innovations As I stated, in my case, I'm thinking of one of the premise of the platform is all future problem solving is going to be accelerated with the large amounts of data that's coming together. So we need a pre-configured data science environment that people will need to work in, and the contextual training and the marketplace. So now we come here, and there's a lot of information on these slides. I'm just going to walk you all very quickly. The asynchronous collaboration anytime, anywhere in the Xrathus platform is created through programs that give you ability to create your own clusters. So your discussion forums, these in this case are asynchronous ones. You go in and you identify, in this case, I have a student program called Simplux. So I'm identifying Simplux and I'm saying, okay, I've identified this category. What is going on in the way of discussions in this category? Synchronously, then I could have a project that I'm working on. In this case, I'm taking a project learning all about Python. I come in and I get my contextual discussion forums in my project. I start learning. This is a self-paced learning. So I have the PowerPoint I'm learning. But let's say the instructor is wanting me to deliver some of the homework in, because I need to learn Python in Python, in a Jupyter notebook. So I come in here and I create, he or she's created the project. So I have to come in here and get access to the project. They've given me how I'm going to deliver it. All the instructions are given. So now I'm able to come to my project and open up my pre-configured data science environment. And as we do this, one of the key things I wanted to do is when there's a project, I wanted to be able to give everybody the ability to synchronously on-demand connect, which is what I call bi-Chronos connection. So what bi-Chronos is, in every project will have ability for the team members, however small, large they are, to come into an infrastructure from the project. So they're going to launch their real-time capability, real-time platform in which now they can go sit at tables. I haven't named the tables, but all this is, of course, customizable. I could come here and say, this is a table for my mentor. This is a table for support. Somebody's coming and giving a presentation. All that can happen. Now, what I'm showing here is the same project from which I have come to the real-time environment. I'm going to come into table number 3, and there's several of, in this case, there's 2 of us that are here, and we're presenting something to each other. So this really helps accelerate getting feedback continuously, and it helps connect more and more people to share, review and improve and implement the solutions quicker, right? I'm using the word solutions because of my corporate lingo. Sorry about that. I'm just going to pull one screen on this side so I can come back to this now, and go full screen again, and then this, it's a lot of information here. It's a high-level overview of our platform. So I'll use the colors here. So if you create a project, you could create a hackathon, you could create a private project, you could create a team project, you could create a training project. Whatever you create, as soon as you create it, and you provide your code repositories, your data sets, etc., you will get a pre-configured data science environment integrated with that project, and toolbox. So if you have any widgets that you want to use, you have any workflows you want to use, you can do that. We also provide full ingress egress with GitLab, which is the way to go now. There's a lot of code available there. So to accelerate further, you might take some public code and then try to develop what you wanted to extend, right? Or you could start from scratch. Now, as you are working in your project, you have the contextual integration with all of your collaboration components. If you were doing a project and you say, this is great, I would love to bring the crowd to come in here and work with me, so you can crowdsource the project immediately. You can, if you had a crowdsource project, you could privatize the project. And we've thought through this about multidisciplinary engagements. So in building the product, we thought about, you are going to have the data scientists at the base, right? Because we said all future problem solving is going to be done by data scientists, but they don't have the expertise, they don't have the intuition to pass on always to solve some of the industry problems. So you always also want to enable your experts to come in. You want your developers to come in to what's the word after? The developers to, optimize your code. Obviously, you need your project managers because you are going to have product implementations to do, deployments to do. They're going to need to have a lot more information about how to do this, different types of clouds, different types of environments. And at the end of it all, of course, you need your sponsor. You need that person that's going to come in and, sponsor your research, your project, whatever you want to do. We also have been thinking a lot about knowledge capture, because we want to capture the knowledge of everything that happens, because we don't want future knowledge loss. And how do you do it contextually? So as you have the project and you have your contextual clusters connected to your projects, you can create wikis out of your projects and you can start building your knowledge base. We also provide industry knowledge bases in the platform. So they come from industry, there's academic knowledge bases, and whatever the community builds and the project owners build. Today we have some data science courses available in the platform. We hope that other, because we built this as an ecosystem, other providers will come and put more education in here. And as we do this, as whether it's a course that they are teaching, they can enhance and create it and publish it right away. We don't, once an innovation or a course is created, we want the enablement where a person that's doing it doesn't have to restart from scratch, right? They can extend what they have. So that's kind of the high level overview of our platform. And then I will go into, so this one I looked at when I came in early this morning. I was listening to people. So the young students were coming in and they all have ideas, right? And today they have their ideas where they go to their educators, STEM teachers, family, friends, others, and they're looking for funding, research, resources, raw materials, data, knowledge, algorithms, etc. Now, what if they had a community that provided them the mentors, the validators, where they could learn, where they could share what they're doing, document what they're doing, teach and create and save that knowledge? They would have their own idea and their own community, but it's robust because there might be others that are in the community working the same, and this would give them a big push. And I also heard this morning where we have been focused through this group to make our young students the future mentors, the future innovators that teach. Well, they would already have their information, their documents, etc. So this I put together from my learning today, but overall, we think about progressive innovation. Progressive to me means, you're going from a hackathon, open crowdsource, to you say, okay, I think I can work with these 2 or 3 people where I need to go and flesh out my idea a little bit more. Then I can go and do a hybrid project. I can learn from multiple organizations across industries. And then if I want to do a private project, I can come and do it here. You can do a synthetic data to do all this development. And for our purposes, innovators, programs, academia, mentors, community, corporations, advisors, associations, all can come in together for open collaboration to create thriving innovators. So we at Xrathus are all about empowering innovators from ideation to delivery. And that's my spill. Thank you. I'm happy to take questions.
Thanks, Rekha. This is a very, very interesting and powerful concept. I do have a question here. So you're the platform here operates like in 2 models, like for projects that develop and drive the innovation process, but at the same time, in these learning paths, right? Like trying to like build the skills of the users. Am I correct?
Yes, skilling becomes where we think skilling becomes important. So I'm a geologist, right? I come from geoscience. I've like Susie, I've pivoted a couple of times, right? Went from geoscience to software to now technology, right? But as we come along, I'm not a data scientist. I know what needs to be solved for industry. I know the pain points that companies have, but I'm by no means a data scientist. So if I'm invited to give any kind of a review or anything on a project, I probably will need to take a course in data science, right? Unclustered algorithms or whatever, right? I'll have to go and learn. Well, so I could be invited as a mentor, but I could go and take that course to be able to really provide the intuitive geologic feedback that they want.
Definitely. So actually, like a project can contribute to this learning part, and why not vice versa, right?
Yeah, I didn't put a slide in here. Think of it as an infinity loop that you can enter from anywhere. You can come to the platform just to learn. And then as you're learning, you could decide, you want to get involved in an open project that's there. You could just come here to ideate. We're just all talking and we decide, oh, what if? Then we want to do a very quick prototype. In this case, it would be a data set prototype. So we would go ahead and create a project and very quickly do our fast fail to see if we want to continue. And we could come in to just impart knowledge, right? Because we can come in here and be teaching, or we have created a knowledge base that now we think others will benefit from. So let's go ahead and work with others to see what they need and want.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I have a question. So the goal of this is to bring all different people, different disciplines together, and then how they contribute varies, right? So there's the educators, the mentors, the person driving a project. Everyone has a different way in which they contribute to the overall end goal. But this is a place in which they plug in to get you to the final, whatever that final product is or final pieces.
Yes. So let's say, there is a lot of problems yet to be solved in the world, right? So I could come in and put a problem statement and I could invite anybody that's interested. So let's say I get 100 people at that point, right? Out of that, I identify that these 2 or 3 people really have, or it could be companies or people, right? They really have what I need for solving my problem. Now I could go ahead and create a hybrid project and then go and, work with them. And maybe even from there, from that evaluation, pick one company to work privately with. So in the workspace, in the corporate world, where this comes in very handy is where you are wanting to bring academia in to help you solve problems, because the research goes on at academia, right? Now they want to come in with academia and work together. How can they do that? And we think that this, by creating a project that is, and we provide full access control to that project, right? So Susie, if you created a project and it was a private project that you created, it wasn't a challenge, then you would need to invite those of us that you want in that project, and you would manage us the way you want. So there is some periphery of management that we provide as well for you to then manage which companies, which individuals come in and help you, right? And when you want to subscribe them, when you want to unsubscribe them, what data sets you want to show, what data sets you don't want to show. And it's fully scalable. Let's say you start with a project and 5 people, but then those 5 people or some other people tell you these 5 companies would be very valuable for this problem, then you would be able to scale that up very quickly by saying, okay, we need to go ahead and add 5 more. How do we do it, right? And I believe in no creativity should be left behind. So every individual in the project that is created will get their own data science environment. So everybody is doing their creativity on that problem individually, but as a project manager, you would be managing, what actually gets into the product, right?
So the platform is just like a mass collaboration space, and it's got a variety of tools to allow for that. Is that correct?
It's correct. Yeah, it's an integrated ecosystem to enable. So right now, why am I presenting here today? Because last Friday I met not 2 days ago, but last Friday I met Greg Misek, who is the founder of the Innovators, Young Innovators Association of America. I just asked him what he does. We started talking. He heard about the platform and he's like, this is huge. I need you for my back end. And we were actually at a place where we both are thinking about doing something together. So, he said this would be something that might be useful. And the part that he really thinks would be that is of interest to him for himself and might be of interest to you guys is this, what I call my Bicronos collaboration platform, right? So in his case, he's thinking about what if I had 60 innovators and we were doing our final competition, can I bring everybody online together? And so we could do that because each one of these tables could be set up for the innovator. The innovator is presenting their innovation. The judges are going around because you can join any table, right? So the judges would be able to go around, and that's all he wanted. And I said, I'll make it better for you by giving you ability to, sorry about that, by giving you ability to give you bigger tables so they could also have family and friends on the tables, right, if they wanted to. So that was what he and I started talking about, and that's how I got introduced to you all and to Jake. And so here I am presenting, and I've attended most of the presentations today, and I'm inspired, and I don't know how, but I'm hoping that I can help the young innovators in some way through the platform. I would like to be able to do that.
Rekha, good morning. This is Anand here from India. I'm pretty much, I clearly understand this platform from two perspectives. One is I represent one of the world's biggest innovation federation as its global director, where it's called EFIA. I think EFIA is part of GIFT is part of EFIA network, where we deal with about 100 countries, inventors and innovations and all this. Within the community, within the EFIA community, we have created a platform, and I head that entire domain where we work on challenges, onboarding the inventors, making them solve the problems, getting solutions and all these things. There should be something that I think we can catch up probably post this event to understand more on how we can work seamlessly on this platform. But it's too, I mean, the platform has gone too deep into the way you're handling invention, the problem statement, the challenges, and how do you take it to the market? Because all three are critical for the innovation life cycle. So when we talk a problem, a solution, and go to market, a commercialization deal. So it's really interesting. I would really want to understand more on, and then see how we could work on some synergies to take this forward, and how we can bring that into a global body like IFIA, where we run all these kind of things across the globe.
I would love that.
Very interesting. I would really be interested. So probably what I'll do is that I'll share my coordinates on the chat, and then probably you could take it forward from there.
All right.
Right?
That sounds exciting. Absolutely.
Yes. So it is really happy that something which is very detailed has come out, and we would be happy to see in the Federation and see how we could help you take it forward.
Yeah, I quietly worked on it because I wanted to make it as open as possible, but then of course for corporations, make it as private as possible. So I'm hoping it's helpful. So I don't see your coordinates yet.
Yes, I'm just typing. I'm just typing.
Susie, Arturo, any other questions?
Yeah. I was also thinking about that part of the corporate use for this. I think it's a great idea. Great that Anand brought it out. But then as he was talking, I was thinking a little bit about imagining myself, like watching it work and all of that. And so one thing that popped up to my mind, and I don't know if you know about it, if you know GitHub.
Yes.
Yes. Which is this platform that's used for development and documenting it, but people are using it like for so many things. And one of the valuable things about the concept that Git actually incorporates is like the versioning, and that other people can actually like clone a project and open a fork and start like, so that like the innovation like starts to grow in several branches. So does this platform actually also allow and empower that same thing? Because if you think about it, at some point another party or another group like could say like, hey, I want to grab at this particular point the project or whatever thread and fork it up in a new direction, and it's the whole ecosystem starts growing like by itself in a very organic way. So I don't know if the platform allows similar functionalities.
Yes, absolutely. We have full ingress egress with GitLab. Okay, so we actually, our project data, and we had to make some very difficult decisions, because when we go to the hybrid and the private projects, you do need to manage the data. And in order to provide versioning with the data set, so we also can scale up the versioning, right? We automatically, you get 3 versions, but you can add more capability. The way we price the platform is by project, right? The unit price by project. So now if you come in here, you would be able to go ahead and do any of your data saves back and forth. When you create the models, you would be able to take those models back out to your bigger data sets. So in an oil and gas company, especially, right? We have tons and tons of data. However, we cannot share a lot of data, right? So let's say we could put a synthetic data set out here, whether we put it out for challenge or we put it out for our teams. We could put out a subset of that data, create our models, and then take those models out through GitLab to go to our field data and do the testing, come back here and update. So we've tried to think of as much integration, but providing the platform ability, providing the participants, I'm going to say, ability to choose how they want to work, right? If they want that full connection, yes, we have it. If they want to bring in their data set and leverage the platform capability on versioning and extensions, etc. And then the pre-configured data science is, of course, for the corporations, but I heard, and we had very few, but in the couple of AI-related presentations we had, I heard that somebody was using Python and they talked about C++, Jupyter, right? So what we've done is try to bring, when we have time, we bring as many languages and bring them in there so that in a workplace, I couldn't go and say, if you said, if I came to work for you and you said, all right, I want you to go solve this problem, you don't want to hear me saying, but I only know Julia, I don't know Python, right? It's a non-starter. So what we've done is pre-configured everything internally, and we provide 2 versions of the data science environment, version 3, version 5, we provide CPUs and GPUs. So we've tried to be as flexible. So the integration within your own systems is easy. I always keep saying, I don't want to be shelfware for anybody. I want to be valueware. So you take from here what you want and use how much you want, because it's an ecosystem, it's a platform, right? Everybody's going to have different needs, but we've tried to be as agnostic and open as possible so people can customize to their needs. And that's why I use the word progressive innovation. So companies could go out and put their problems out as hackathons. And the example of the young lady from Canada today, for Arushi, right? In her case, right, she's like a prime example for a place like Houston, right? Because I almost want to tell her, hey, when I get projects for the medical field, or NASA, I'll call you, because these are going to be hackathons that get put on here, because here the incubators are looking at this kind of infrastructure for innovation, right? Because they're looking to do hackathons with different industries.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but really interesting. I don't know if Anand or Zuzi, you have another question?
I just have one suggestion, because this is, I know it's brilliant, but wrapping my brain around the intricacies, I would just recommend, if you could, back to, you watched some people today and you saw, you're like, oh, this person would be great. It would be nice to just take and like pretend to be someone and walk them through how they could maybe use this. I think it would help people visualize, because I know it will do more than we could even hope for. But it's trying to understand some of that. Like, if I could relate to somebody, an example, I think it would be easier for me to understand it.
Yeah, so, sorry I didn't do that. We've got plenty of those,
it's just an idea.
No, but it's, today we have them mostly in oil and gas, right? Because that's my background. And today I'm a one-person shop that's built all this. So it's amazing. So I have one example in object detection, and that I've been thinking about pulling it down. And with Greg, I'm thinking about using an object detection example. That will be something that will resonate with, this this community, right?
Yeah, I think it would be, it would help people just kind of visualize like the steps.
Yeah.
Arturo, do you agree? I'm just trying to.
Yes, definitely. I mean, and I know it's so complex and so technical, and it's like, you know, having like this Swiss Army knife, and that you just use like one of the tools. So it definitely has a lot to do. And tell me something. I know that all of this like is really IT related, but have you thought about using this platform on an entirely different field, like for example, I don't know, like materials engineering, or you know, the same model but also like the same thing for learning and also project development in things that are not like related in any way with computer science?
Absolutely. So my data science advisor is a mechanical engineer, and he's got several things that he's working on for us where the examples will be in a totally different place. We also have used this, associations have used it simply to do like, you know, during COVID, it was more accelerated to do like their pivoting series of education, etc., that they were doing. So educators have come, companies are getting ready to come now. I should say that I was not selling this. The first time I pitched this was just end of last August, and it's starting December that I started talking about this platform, because up until then, we were trying to go ahead and build some back-end securities that, you know, if somebody used it, we wanted to make sure everything was tested well. So you know, we're open to all kinds of prototypes here right now, right? Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, very interesting.
So Susie, thanks. I will build that. I mean, I do have it. I just don't show it, but the object detection will be
Well,
good. Yeah.
again, it really is brilliant, and I'm loosely like connecting the dots, but if you connect them for me, it will be easier for me to picture it.
Sure, we'll do that.
Thank you. That's all I had as far as questions.
Rekha, I've sent you all the coordinates so that you can take a look at it. And then probably we could definitely catch up and let's see how we can take this forward.
I look forward to that. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity.
Thanks, Rekha.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.